This 90-kilometre off-track route starting in the Makarora had us cross over 4 spectacular alpine passes into the Hunter, Ahuriri and Maitland catchments before crossing another saddle to drop down to Lake Ohau. Big climbs out of each catchment provided jaw-dropping panoramas of this portion of the Southern Alps with a combination of rugged ridgelines, jagged peaks, eroded tops and huge scree slopes. Come and join us on our adventure. Gathering at Queenstown Airport, we took a shuttle to Davis Flat, arriving around midday. The Makarora Valley track initially climbs high to avoid the gorge, then sidles down to the river. From there we were either walking along the boulder field beside the river or pushing through scrub until we reached the extensive flat leading to Makarora Hut. If you would like more videos like this, please like and subscribe. Lugging 9-day packs, this took 6¼ hours. With the hut occupied, we camped nearby. We had a 1,000-metre climb out of the valley today. First off, we needed to locate the right spur to gain access to the saddle into Scrubby Creek. This was located across the valley from spot height 777 between the two streams, which provided good access to the tops. A cold southerly wind had us soon donning hard shells as we enjoyed the spectacular views across the valley to Mount Armstrong and the higher Mount Brewster. Once over the saddle, we had lunch while studying the map to pick a route down to the valley floor. We followed sporadic markers mentioned in Moyes that sidled above the gorge but lost those and ended up pushing through steep, difficult bush, across a slip and down a rocky bank. We then descended the bouldery chute before picking up the tortuously slow dot track, sidling in and out of gullies before finally dropping down to the valley floor to a sheltered campsite. Today was going to be the most challenging of the trip, a 1,400 metre climb up an untracked ridge with a difficult scrub belt to negotiate lower down. After an easy hour's walk down the valley and a shallow crossing of the Hunter, now the fun began. The first 200 metres of the climb was a bit of a mission, 110% effort. We took turns in dozer roll and hauling, crashing, bashing ourselves over, through and under unforgiving scrub up a very steep slope, sidling under minor bluffs to gain better terrain. We had definitely worked up a head of steam long before the scrub thinned. We then navigated our way up to a small watercourse around the 1,000-metre contour where we topped up and cooled down. As we climbed higher, we had views south down the valley to Lake Ohau, to the braided Hunter snaking below and across the valley to the Young Range, which we had crossed over yesterday.
That's where we've got to go up. It's Robin. Dennis.
Tussock slopes gradually gave way to rock and scree, and we marvelled at the views on a beautiful, almost windless day. We'd read of a tarn just south of Little Canyon Col. As the climb wore on and the hours ticked by, with the weather so benign, camping there started to become an increasingly attractive option. Nearing the ridgeline, we popped over above a large dry crater. Circumnavigating the crater, we came to our assumed crossing point, which looked a tad intimidating, so we continued south looking for a better route. And there below us, tucked away amongst the scree and the boulders, hid a ribbon of a tarn. Yea, after some concerted earthworks, we settled into a wonderful high 1800 metre camp on the crest of the Huxley Range. Our day 4 task was to descend Little Canyon Creek to the Ahuriri. Looking down from the col, we couldn't see an obvious safe way down to the inviting scree slopes below. However, after a couple of false starts, we found a straightforward sidle through the bluffs to gain the slopes we wanted. A few hours later, we had descended the scree slopes and upper valley and wound our way through the open bush above Little Canyon Gorge to pop out near the Canyon Creek confluence. After 3 hard days, we decided on a short day, so set up camp. A well-worn dock track leads up the valley to the entrance to Canyon Creek and then traverses around high bluffs, disgorging a thunderous waterfall to gain the upper valley. From the upper valley, we took a route described in Moyes to a spectacular unnamed turquoise lake nesting under Mount Helm, a perfect lunch spot. Once we returned, we moved on to Shamrock Hut, 1.5 hours away. A 6:15 start to beat the high winds forecast that afternoon saw us heading off across the flats under headlamp before soon entering an eerie, misty world. Once across the Ahuriri, we started up a grassy ramp on the true left of Watson Creek just as daylight began to filter through. A few hours later, we were at the Forks with surreal light as the sun sought to burst through the mist clinging to the valleys. Slowly our proposed route over into the Maitland came into view. Yikes, nothing looked good. In fact, everywhere looked hard work. A lengthy climb up shifting scree looked inevitable. We decided to abandon both the routes we'd read about and made use of a tussock rib that extended high up towards the ridgeline before sidling up and across scree to gain the ridge. Fortunately, the forecast 75 km/h winds were busy elsewhere, and we experienced barely a zephyr on another blue sky day. We lingered at the Col, revelling in the majestic views and snow-capped ranges stretching in all directions. Finally, we dropped from the ridge onto a grassy bench for lunch. The descent to the Maitland was straightforward, albeit encountering messy windfall and new growth in the final section to Maitland Hut. Our last day out started with mist hanging over the valley as we headed up the wide tussock-filled Maitland Valley. We followed the stream-draining Dumbbell Lake east up the valley before climbing up towards the pinnacle. On reaching the Col, we were surprised to see Lake Ohau blanketed in cloud, but that soon dispersed. We climbed over spot height 1922, which provided access down to the tarns in Freehold Creek. We descended off the ridgeline down a steep boulder field, around some bluffs and past the tarns to join up with the Tiararoa Trail. We now travelled a well-trodden trail, and upon reaching the Alps to Ocean cycle trail turned north for the final 6k bash to a well-earned steak and beer at Ohau Lodge.